So this is another lesson from the serious mistakes that I've made, so you don't have to. But today it's a little bit different because it's not really about mistakes or things that you've done right. It's about feelings that I have felt, and I know personally a dozen other entrepreneurs, business owners who have felt the exact same way when they've had a business failure or they've lost something in their life. It could be a marriage, could be a girlfriend, business, investment, house, whatever. Why do they feel like they are such failures? And for me, my whole identity was attached to possessions. I would not feel good about myself if I was not succeeding in life. Either that be in business or money or relationships, whatever it was. It had a direct correlation to how I felt, either on the plus or the minus side. And it really hit me hard when my company failed. My whole identity was attached to it, where I just felt like a failure. Shame was a big part of it, but not so much other people's opinion, because at the end of the day, I always had the comfort in the fact that, well, fuck it, I actually went and done something and had a go at it and tried. But the fact that it didn't go the way I wanted it to, or it ended up going the wrong way, left me feeling empty, worthless, useless, all of the above. And I have talked to at least a dozen other business owners that have went through the exact same thing. And one thing they all feel the same. Well, that's not right. They don't all feel the same. I'm going to get to the difference. The people that felt the worst were the ones that actually were fit to reprogram and recalibrate themselves to the point where they were fit to have a hard look at themselves, see where they went wrong, and come back again. The ones that didn't really feel as bad because they blamed everyone else and it was everyone else's fault and not their own, they never really, I can think of 4 people off the top of my head who had massive businesses, really big, strong, successful businesses, millions of dollars, and literally lost it all over a space of a year or two. The ones that were in denial always had someone to blame. It was always someone else's fault, and I seen firsthand that they were not fit to regroup, analyze where they went wrong, and come back stronger. They were just, happy to leave it as is, live in the past, blame everyone else, go on about their life being miserable. But I do know a couple other people like myself that they're their own worst critic. They analysed every scenario and they found a way to take ownership for it. And instance, if something did go wrong and it was completely an external person that done it or messed up, at the end of the day, you can't just rely on, they done this, they done that company done the other. That's not a good way to live. You have to look at how did you contribute, or did you even contribute? Should you have seen it sooner? Why did you hire that person? Why did you work for that company? Why did you let it go so far? It's ultimately your fault. And if you don't look at it like that, how are you ever going to learn the lesson so you don't do it again? You can't. So ultimately, a major red flag is if somebody starts to tell you about how their business, they had a great business, their business failed, and everyone else was the problem. That is victim mentality. You don't can't hang around that. You don't want to have that. That's infectious. It's not everyone else's fault. It's ultimately your own. Better decisions would have led to better outcomes. So that's it. But regardless, when you have some ups and downs in life, especially the downs, you really learn who you are. There's people that get beaten down and they stay down. It's okay. You're not going to bounce back straight away the next day, but as long as you bounce back at some stage, may it be a week, a day, month, year, decade, whatever, like, that is the key. There's lessons to be learned. Get the lessons, get back on the wagon, and do better when you know better. That's all I can say. But the poisonous thing that I had to struggle with, don't let failure define you. Don't hang your whole self-worth on materialistic achievements, because all you're doing is hiding behind some garbage that can be taken away from you in the morning. Like, man, there's people that wouldn't have even known, people close to me would not have known the heartache and the failures that I have achieved in life, because I'm too ashamed to say it. I have been, and because in case that they would look at me like I'm a loser, failure. So that's something I have to work on, and I've got experience talking to a fair few other guys that are the same way. One guy in particular, he same thing, went from here down to here. He's away from his family. They're overseas. They moved to another country. He's here trying to rebuild because he doesn't want to go home, back to his home country, a failure. And he's sacrificing, it's fucking his whole life being away from his wife and kids because he's too ashamed to go back home and go, okay, for the fear of people judging him that he failed. And people, the wrong kind of people, the negative haters, losers that never done anything themselves, they take some enjoyment out of other people's failures, and that's fine. Leave them with it. That's okay. If that makes them feel a little bit better, good. Just because that's all they have to feel better. They've never achieved fuck all themselves. So give them the win. There you go. Yeah, it failed. Yeah, cool. The fact that I actually done something means something you've never done. Jack shit. So just lose your inhibition. Let people think what they want to think. As long as you are proud of what you've achieved and that you're still trying, that's all that matters. So keep going.